Welcome back, and let's talk about the acquisition in news. We're talking about Rubicon Research acquiring 85% stake in Arena Life, and how is the synergy out of this deal coming out? And Arena gets almost 60 plus brands to Rubicon Research. What's the road ahead? Let's discuss all of this. We are joined by Mr. Parag Sanjay, CEO Rubicon Research. Parag, hi, welcome to the show. First question to you is about the synergies from the acquisition. You know, you've described Arena as a launch pad for the Indian market. Does this signal an intent to ramp up your domestic footprint more aggressively?
Our stated vision for Rubicon has been that we want to be a global therapeutics company. And one key area of that is been the CNS area. So when we look at Arena, which is focused on CNS, and India being one of important markets or growth markets, definitely Arena provides us a launch pad to launch our portfolio and pipeline, further increasing the ROI on the R&D which we're already investing in. So it is, in the continuing vision of getting new CNS therapies to global markets aligns well with this acquisition.
How do you foresee growth in the domestic business given 98% of your revenues are currently USD denominated?
Obviously, we'll be using this launchpad to grow in a systematic way. As we look at scaling up this business, the most important thing is the pipeline and the innovative therapies which we can get to Indian markets with a complete focus on quality and innovation. So we feel that's a good starting point for a company like us, which is entering new into the market, along with a platform of Arena where they have a very good relationships in the markets they operate. The prescribers well recognize them. People are very familiar with the brands, the breadth of the product. They cover a large category of the CNS products. So when we look at growing in this market, we have the right platform. And then when we look to add our pipeline, that will definitely augment our ability to ensure that the prescribers are well aware of the new therapies which are available in other parts of the world and which can be offered to the patients in India.
Also, what is the realistic timeline to see Rubicon's playbook actually translate to the India market?
It will be a journey. I don't want to put a timeline right now, but if you just see our history, and that will give you some sense of it. We got into the US market in the year 2015, which was supposedly the worst years to get into the US market. And from there to now, with relentless execution, portfolio selection, and our emphasis on quality, we have kind of grown our revenues 32x in the last 11 years. So I don't want to put a timeline, but I think we have a good playbook, which we have seen over all our acquisitions. And if you just note, all our acquisitions we have done in past have been for capabilities and not for revenue. So in the same line, we feel that over the next 4 to 7 years, you will start to see the results of what we are doing right now in the business, in the Arena business, which we will be doing along with the promoter who continues to manage the business.
Now that your CNS pipeline is under development, what other segments are evaluating or looking to grow into?
So we look at the chronic segments because we feel it's a play which we have been very comfortable with, and we understand the chronic segment. Currently, CNS is pretty significantly, we are very focused on CNS as a category, and within CNS itself, there are lots of areas like neuropsychiatry, neurodegenerative, neuro rare. So there are lots of categories. So, the broader theme will be chronic, and within that, to at least the short to medium term focus will be near CNS.
How are you looking at the anti-diabetes space now? It's been quite a popular segment with the semaglutide generic flooding the market. Do you see some opportunity there?
Diabetes falls into the chronic segment, so it is an area of interest. Specifically, what is currently going on market, we are obviously keenly observing because There is a lot of activity which is happening, a lot of significant competition which is coming. But at the same time, we have to also note the innovator pipeline, the pipeline of Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, or companies in the US and Europe is also continuously evolving. So we are carefully keeping a watch on which therapies finally will kind of shift the metabolics or the anti-diabetes market. So, and as our stated vision is to work on things which we can play in a lifetime, right? We want to not, we like to be in markets where we can be there for the lifetime. So we are still observing this market to figure out where the right opportunities are and where the shift might happen from a treatment paradigm perspective. So, as of now, we are observing it and seeing, and wherever the opportunities are meaningful, it will be either in our pipeline or we are executing that through inorganic way.
All right, Parag, all the best with that. And thank you so much. We'll let you go now. Thank you so much for speaking to us.